First of all, I run a business and I have some limitations. I can't approach conventional bank financing.
Right.
I follow Islamic Sharia law. Now, I'm looking for a comparative or alternative to invoice discounting facility.
Invoice discount?
Invoice discounting facility that conventional banks provide.
Right.
And my second question is, as a depositor, the UK compensation scheme obviously pays back a depositor under the compensation scheme, so the depositor doesn't really take a risk. So how does that fit in with Islamic banking? Because I'm actually involved with the Islamic banks, institutions and investment banks, and in all cases I'm always repaid whatever they've actually promised under Wakala or Mudaraba. So for me, when I look at my investments, the risk is very minimal for me under the UK jurisdiction. So how does that fit in with the Islamic banking? If Dr. Dar could just explain a bit on that.
Thank you very much, and we'll get those answered. So he's got two questions, and we had a previous caller.
The first question was about, what was the first question about?
The Islamic mortgages.
Islamic mortgages.
And would they actually vary the rate?
Oh, yes, you know. Again, okay,
through
yeah, there are different models. Okay, if you're using Murabaha is a fixed return, fixed rate model. Right? If Murabaha based mortgage is for 7 years, whatever happens to the interest rate during that time period, Murabaha based mortgage rate would not change.
So it's fixed. The payment is fixed throughout the term.
It's fixed.
Right.
Having said that, Murabaha based mortgages tend to be more expensive as compared to conventional mortgages, because banks' risk exposure is high in this case. In case of diminishing musharaka based mortgages and in case of ijara based mortgages, however, the rate may change. Islam allows revision of ijara, lease, depending on the change in circumstances. If, for example, Bank of England base rate changes, okay, first week of the month, monetary policy committee decides to change the interest rate, this might be reflected in a change in the rental which the bank is charging its mortgage customers. So in case of ijara and musharaka, depending on a product, okay, the bank may decide to change the rate in accordance with the change in the standard variable rate or any benchmark which the bank is using for pricing of its Islamic mortgages.
So interest affects Islamic banking as well. So they get their money from Bank of England just like every other bank.
That's in the UK, but if they're in a different country, then obviously there'll be different circumstances.
It's actually about benchmarking. Okay, and if all of us, remember, okay, UK market is predominantly conventional. Okay, we the Muslims in all our behaviors, whether this is financial or non-financial, we get affected by the whatever is happening in the society, in the market. Similarly, Islamic banks, okay, they cannot keep their eyes completely shut. Okay. Whatever is happening in the market, that will have an effect on the performance of Islamic banks and financial institutions as well. So I say that although Islamic banking is interest free, but it remains interest linked.
Does the customer decide which type of mortgage, Murabaha or Ijara or Mudaraba, or does he decide, Musharaka, sorry, does he decide when he goes to the bank, or does the bank say, right, this is what we offer? We offer the Murabaha start.
In UK, that choice is not available. Right? So basically, when Islamic mortgages were started in this country, Murabaha was the model. But as I said, okay, Murabaha-based mortgages were significantly more expensive as compared to conventional. Hence, Muslims said, "Oh, this is very expensive." Okay. Ijara-based mortgages were introduced, which were better than the Murabaha-based, and now we have diminishing musharaka. In other countries, like in UAE, in
America,
Pakistan,
I think America, they do Mudaraba,
but the choice in Muslim countries is high. In UAE, you can have a choice. You want to go for Murabaha-based mortgage, fine. If you want to go for Musharaka-based mortgage, it's entirely up to you.
We're getting a lot of questions on mortgages and finance. So let me take this next call. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's Mishkil from Rostel.
Yes.
My question is the same as others about the mortgage, Islamic mortgage.
I think we're going to do a program, I think, just on mortgages instead of business finance.
But Tamkin,
so
this can be related.
So what is your
to
question?
business.
Actually, no, easy to convert mortgage to the Islamic mortgage.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
I tried my best to contact with Islamic bank.
Okay, don't worry, we'll answer the question, inshallah.
I don't want to take too much time. I know it's very, very important discussion zone. The thing is, I asked them about my property is worth about 100,000, but I need a mortgage only about 60%.
Okay.
But I've been told I can't convert my mortgage to the Islamic mortgage because they said we only provide Islamic mortgage which is a property 150 grand worth.
Okay. So we have to find another lender then. Lender? Thank you, brother. We'll answer that one. And don't forget, we've got 2 questions from the previous one as well. So if we answer this one quickly then, he's having difficulty converting because their benchmark is 150,000 plus.
That's primarily a commercial decision by an Islamic bank.
Right.
You know, if they are looking for customers of a particular profile,
yes.
If unfortunately a customer doesn't fall in that profile, they would say sorry. And I would say that, you know, this is very much an Islamic behavior. If you can't do anything, you just say sorry, we can't do it.
Oh, I see. Right, so that's
now,
that
going
answer.
back to the other 2 questions,
Yes.
okay, you have to remind me, what was the first question?
Can you remember? I can't remember. Did you write them down?
Well,
Sammy, why have I got you here? I told you pen and paper.
Yeah, blame it on me. No, I actually recall the first question, which was about the Islamic mortgage and how they actually would vary if they would.
Yes, and we answered that one.
And then after that, was it?
I'm very sorry, caller. You had 2 fantastic questions. I think they were to do with finance.
Yeah.
That's what I can remember.
But you know, every single question regarding mortgage can be used as well in a business context.
Yes.
It's all to do with finance.
But on the mortgages,
assets, car.
Yeah, but on the mortgage, you're actually renting the house. You're actually living in the property, so you pay a rental element on that.
It's the
I
same,
suppose that will work for the car, but I'm not sure if that would work for the sugar mill or a business.
You would buy the asset, and then you would be paying installments back. So it's like a rent. You're renting the asset, and gradually every year you would buy a percent of that asset back.
Actually, it
So
depends.
it's diminishing.
It depends
Moraba.
very much what kind of asset you're trying to finance. In case of car financing, for example, banks' preference is to use murabha, because exit strategy for Islamic bank is very simple. You buy the car and sell it to the customer. All the responsibilities, maintenance and everything, that goes to the customer.
Right.
Okay. And the customer has to pay the price in installments. In most cases, the bank would have a collateral on the car itself, or it would use another asset which is more stable in value.
How much deposits do they generally ask for on a car or on a business? Is it varying amounts, like, you know, 30%, 20%, 10%? They look, I know, that the whole package and what is your business worth and how much collateral you have. But roughly, what sort of charges are there? What will they charge?
It depends from the bank.
Each individual bank.
From bank to bank. Okay. And the risk assessment and risk appetite of a bank. Before the crisis, it was 5%, 10%. Now it has gone up to 30%. In some cases, the banks may say 40%.
Right, equity or deposits or whatever.
That's right, yeah.
So then how can someone start a business when they need you to have a big deposit? What do we do for those people? How can we help those people?
No, startups.
Yes.
Okay, even in conventional finance.
Yes.
Right. Startups, many startups are helped by the venture capitalists.
Right.
Okay. The banks wouldn't like to go for startups. Okay. If I want to start my business today, they would, conventional banks would give me a personal loan. They would not give me any loan i.e. they would not